3 true Christmas horror stories to haunt your holidays. Story 1. The Shadow on the Snow. It was Christmas Eve, and the snow fell heavy over the small cabin where Angela and her family had gathered for the holidays. The remote woods were quiet, save for the crunch of snow beneath Angela's boots as she walked outside to collect firewood. The cabin lights glowed warmly behind her, casting long shadows across the snowy ground. As she bent to pick up the wood, she noticed something. Large footprints, much larger than her own, leading from the tree line toward the cabin. But they weren't human. Each step was oddly spaced, with claw-like impressions. They stopped abruptly near the cabin's side window. Angela's pulse quickened as she scanned the forest, but the woods remained still. She dropped the wood and ran back inside, slamming the door shut. When she told her family, they laughed. "Probably just a bear," her father said. Angela wasn't convinced. She pulled the curtains closed and double-checked the locks. Later that night, while everyone slept, Angela awoke to a faint tapping sound. It came from the same window where the footprints had ended. She crept out of bed and peered through the curtains. A shadow stood just beyond the glow of the cabin's lights, tall and unmoving. Its elongated limbs stretched unnaturally toward the window. Angela froze, unable to look away, as the figure slowly turned its head toward her. Its face was pale, hollow, and inhuman. Before she could scream, it dissolved into the darkness, leaving only the crunch of snow as it retreated into the woods. Story 2. The Haunted Ornament. Lisa loved Christmas decorations, especially vintage ornaments. At a local antique shop, she stumbled upon an intricately carved glass ornament depicting a smiling angel. It was delicate, almost too perfect, and she bought it immediately. That evening, she hung the ornament in the center of her tree, admiring how it glistened in the light. As she turned away, she thought she saw movement from the corner of her eye. The angel's face seemed to shift, its smile slightly wider. She shook her head, blaming the wine. Over the next few days, strange things began happening. Lisa would wake up to find the ornament in different parts of the house. On her kitchen counter, her bedside table, even in her car. At first, she thought it was a prank. But the more she tried to ignore it, the more sinister the occurrences became. One night, she awoke to the sound of faint singing. The melody was soft but unsettling, like a child humming a Christmas carol off-key. The sound led her to the living room, where the tree stood dark. The ornament glowed faintly, its smile now twisted into a mocking sneer. Before Lisa could move, the lights on the tree flickered to life, and every ornament rattled violently. The angel ornament began to spin, faster and faster, until it flew off the tree and shattered at her feet. A cold gust of air swept through the room, extinguishing every light. Lisa never hung ornaments again. Story 3. The Visitor in the Chimney. On Christmas night, 10-year-old Noah was too excited to sleep. He crept downstairs, hoping to catch Santa in the act. The house was quiet, the only sound the faint crackle of the dying fire. As he sat near the fireplace, staring up at the chimney, he heard something. A faint shuffling, like footsteps above. His heart raced with excitement. Santa! But the sound grew louder, heavier. It wasn't the jolly clatter of reindeer hooves. It was slow, deliberate, and scraping. Noah's excitement turned to unease as soot began falling into the fireplace. Then, a hand appeared. Thin, bony, with elongated fingers. It gripped the edge of the chimney. Noah froze, unable to scream, as a second hand appeared, followed by a grotesque face. It wasn't Santa. Its hollow eyes and sharp-toothed grin stared at him, its head cocked unnaturally. "Noah," it whispered, in a voice that was both a growl and a hiss. It crawled further down the chimney, its limbs folding in impossible ways. Noah stumbled backward, finally finding his voice to scream. His parents rushed downstairs, but the fireplace was empty. Only a trail of soot and claw marks remained. To this day, Noah refuses to celebrate Christmas. If you enjoyed these chilling Christmas tales, don't forget to subscribe to Soul Beach Shadows and hit the bell icon for more terrifying updates. Stay tuned for more stories to haunt your holidays.